to change the conventional light fixture over to a series LED light fixture.
Okay.
Starting with my tools you need will be a diagonal side cutters, a wire stripper cutter, a regular screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, a Wirenut driver to the size of the nut that's on the lights, an electric tool to test the lights for power, and an assortment of wire nuts. For 3 wires you use a red nut, for 2 wires you use a yellow wire nut, and for the ground wires you use a green wire nut. You also will need a supply of some type of white neutral wire to connect for a series circuit. The light bulbs we're going to use on these are series light bulbs, and they're diagrammed on one side as to how they are connected up to the lamp or to the fixture.
Okay, so this light has one end hot and one end neutral, right?
Correct.
Okay.
One end of the lamp is hot,
And one
or
is
they
neutral.
call it load,
Load.
and the other is a neutral.
Alright, so that's why it is called series connection, correct?
Correct.
And the parallel, you have both on one end.
You have the load and the neutral on the one end of the fixture.
Okay, one end on the LED tube.
I must stress that you power off the lights.
Right.
Either a light switch or the circuit breaker. Kill all the power to the lights.
Correct.
Remove the center cover by squeezing the guard. And removing the guard.
So what are you going to see is the ballast and the wiring.
You're going to see the ballast, and you're going to see the wires to each side of the
connectors.
the connectors to each side of the fixture. I have an electrical tester here. This will tell you if you touch the black wire, which is the hot wire, it will tell you
Whether there is a power or
that
not.
if you have power to the light or not.
And there is no power.
There's no power here.
Which is good. Then and then you begin your
Correct.
retrofit.
Okay.
Okay.
First, undo all your wire nuts. Well, you don't actually. You have to do your power wire nuts and your neutral wire nut,
Go slowly a little
and
bit.
disconnect the ballast. Also disconnect the ballast on this side. And this is where the Wirenut driver, the nut driver, comes in handy. Take the nut off the ballast.
You can leave the ballast in also,
You
right?
can also leave the ballast in, but it does lighten up the light. Remove the ballast. Okay, what I do is I see which side my power is coming in.
Okay.
I always use that side for my load, and the opposite side for my neutral.
Okay.
So you want to stretch this wire
So
out.
that other side, the yellow one, long one, you use for neutral.
The neutral, the yellow wires.
Right, and other blue and red one that you use for the load, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now it always doesn't. It's always not these colors.
Right. Yeah, it's a different color. Okay.
I don't have enough wire here for the neutral,
Right.
so I have to use a small piece of wire here. Strip the end. Wire nut it. Make sure the wire nut's nice and tight so you get a good connection. Then I always fold it back, and then I measure how much I need, and I always give a little extra. And that's your neutral.
Right. So the one neutral connection is done.
The neutral connection is done.
Which one end of the fixture you connect to the neutral, and the other end you connect to the now hot.
Now, you take the 4 wires coming out of the hot.
Okay. Why is the 4? Because of the 4 tubes, right? So
There's 4 tubes over
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
These are jumpered across.
Mm-hmm.
These are individual
Right.
because they're the load side.
Yeah. Okay. So the 4 because of the 4 tubes. So if
Right.
you wanted to, you can put the LED tube anywhere you want as long as you have connected all the 4 to the hot, which is the load wire.
Correct.
Okay. No, you don't necessarily
You don't
have to use all 4.
Yeah, but in some rooms you need 4 bulbs because it might be a lab or a desk.
Right.
Some people need more light. We usually put 2 bulbs in each fixture.
Okay.
We took 4 40-watt fixtures out of this light,
Okay.
which means we took, 160 watts out.
Okay.
We're replacing with 2 16-watt lights.
16 or 18 at the most.
16, 18,
sometime.
or 20, depends on the
Right.
tube. And you still get twice as much light. You always use a green wire nut on the ground. There was no wire nut on there, but you should put one on it because it gives continuity in your fixture. Put your wires back in like that.
And you are done.
And you're done. Replace your cover.
Yeah. And then you put just a tube.
Cover goes a lot easier without the ballast
Yeah.
in there because you're not fighting against the ballast.
Right.
Take your tubes. Take your ends. There's ends on these tubes for to protect the connectors.
Pin or connectors. Right.
Put your tubes in. Press in.
You're done.
Put your cover back on. Turn the lights on and you're done.
Very good. So you are replacing 40 watts of the fluorescent 4 bulb with a 2 of the LED bulb, and you're gonna get like about the at least same amount of light.
At least the same, if not more.
Right. So that's great. And so now you don't have to worry about replacing the ballast for at least for next 5, 8, 10 years.
You don't have to replace the ballast at all.
Because you are not using a ballast.
Right.
So that is like lots of cost, maybe more than $100 cost over the period of like 8-10 years of the LEDs, correct? All right, great. So here we have finished the series connection of the LED retrofit, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you.